Right on, guys. How are we? You are tuned back in for another episode of the Metal Summit. This is where we say that the weekend begins. The first half of the week is dead. The weekend starts right now. It is Wednesday night. Happy hump day to everybody. Coming a few weeks off of M3, where the Metal Summit was running around all over M3. And we thank you guys, as always, for tuning in with us. But speaking of M3, because we have yet to actually touch on this, except for the recent time after M3. Before I bring in our guest, I'm actually going to kick it down to Bobby, because for people who aren't aware, we are running a cool competition, a cool little giveaway thing right now, and we think we need to bring a little bit of attention back to it. So, Bobby, let me kick it to you right quick, man. What do we got?
What we're going to do is we're really going to work on the details of this, but what we're looking for is the ultimate fan, the one who knows, posts, does everything. We're sitting there, look, it's basically they got to bare their breast for Angel. No, we're not going that route. Well, we could, but no. So we have the ultimate giveaway. We have a bundle pack from Mark Wise Guy Weiss, who was kind enough to do an interview with us, sign his book, The Decade That Rocked shirt. It's one size, but you can give it to your friend and everything. It would be a large. There's postcards. There's everything. The book's also going to be signed by all four of us from the Metal Summit. And it's going to be announced at the BLE Masquerade that Halloween night. So you guys got time, but the last cutoff for that is we're going to be kind of dicks. We're cutting it off right at the beginning of October. So have it in, gives us time to calculate everything. But you got to be showing your thing, seeing where we can, where you're posting, where you're supporting. And we're going to be watching. So we got to look for that ultimate person. And we want to know who's rocking out with us the hardest.
Absolutely, 100%. So yeah, Mark Weiss gave us his blessing to do a very, very cool giveaway to the ultimate fan. We want to know exactly what music's given you, what it's brought to you, what it means to you. But the key word is what that stuff really means to you. Don't be shy. We want to hear your stories. We don't care if you send us a story that's the length of War and Peace. We want to hear all about something very cool, stories, and don't think that it has to involve a celebrity, for example. That's always something I think is incredibly important for everybody to be aware of. All of you Metal Summoners, all of you fans, don't think that just because somebody sends out some really cool story about having lunch with Nikki Sixx, that's automatically going to land them the win. Dude,
if they had sex with Nikki Sixx's mom, that would be a totally different story.
We're all going to want details about that. Isn't that right, Bob?
And video.
Exactly. We want to know just everything about it. You tell us as much as you want to tell us about it, but we're going to start slinging out some real secure concrete details for you guys leading up to the end of October. So that way this becomes a thing and launched and gifted to the fan of our choosing at Masquerade with BLE. But speaking of BLE, it's about that time to bring in that cat who with his band completely tore it up at BLE's event. Yeah. They were absolutely fantastic, man. People were definitely talking for weeks after the BLE show about Mr. Bill Spears and Stone Whiskey.
Yeah. Thank you. Man, that was a fun show. I'm glad we were part of that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the Roxy Blue show, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So first and foremost, man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your evening. And second most, thank you for playing that show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, man. We go way back if nobody knows.
Yeah, totally. We hadn't really put that I hadn't really put that out much in the lead up to the show, but yeah, Bill and I go back through a series of adventures, a series of different little bands and some just cool little things for a while now, dude. So I'm super stoked that you're down to do the show so we could just chat like we used to, but we get to chat with the fans and my bros.
Yeah. That's right, man.
Yeah. So so stemming a little bit off of that, so we go as far back as your multi-band situation, Kings of Hollywood, where you would do Poison, you would do Motley, you would do Guns N' Roses. You also recently did a really fantastic Green Day band, Dookie, with Chris from those aforementioned bands and Chris from the current band when it came to Stone Whiskey. But talk a little bit about Stone Whiskey, like coming together and stuff, because you were pretty active with the Dookie band leading up to COVID.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, like tribute bands just get booked, like nonstop all over the map. So, get paid money and good crowds and all that. So that kept us really busy for a long time. And then, as you know, when shows stopped, we had all this time on our hands. But actually, right before then, me and Alan had met up at a party. And I was a fan of his voice, in his other bands. We just chatted. We played a couple times together. Our bands had been on the same bill here and there, but and we just talked about like, hey, let's write some music. We want to put together a cool rock and roll thing. So that's what we did, man. We just got together, started writing, just me and him, just to see what would come out of it. And then all of a sudden, everything stopped. So we had all this time on our hands. So, after writing some tunes, like this is going to be a band. So, Chris and Mike and Jim were the first guys we called. It was an easy decision, because I've got, the history with Chris and Appetite for Destruction and the other things. So, yeah, it was a no-brainer, man.
Absolutely, brother. So what was it when you were putting together, like, doing your writing with Alan, and then the band was kind of forming and then led to those phone calls with the guys that you knew that you could rock out with? What was your your thought process when it came to Stone Whiskey? Like, did you want it to be a band? Did you want it to be like a full-on thing that you guys really got behind? I mean, don't get me wrong, because we are going to talk about the album as well. Hell yeah, we are. But, an album did stem out of this, but what were your thought process behind, putting together the band and where you wanted the vehicle to take you?
Right. I think when me and Alan first got together, we were just, testing the waters of like, hey, we're all busy, but we want to write some tunes and see what happens. And then immediately we're like, these are really cool tunes, man. It has to be a band, and it was never from that point on, it was never a side project or anything like that. It was like, this is our focus. We're going to write a killer album. And, we had the time to do it, and, really, I guess the silver lining in the pandemic was we had some time. We weren't on the road playing tribute band shows and stuff like that. So, the album is what came out of it.
Absolutely, man, for sure. Where did you guys land on the name? Because the longer music now goes, the trickier it is to land on a name that people are
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, we don't want it to be a sentence long. We don't be stupid or goofy. It took weeks, It's like it needs, it just needs to scream rock and roll like a cool name, and those have been taken up,
Right.
And at one point we got really silly, and we were just like, we're Little Dicky and the Licks. I mean, all kinds of like crazy stuff, like just being funny, but I don't know, just popped up, throwing words around.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing that you didn't land on Little Dicky and the Licks. I think Bobby. I think Bobby owns that already.
Yeah,
We probably wrote them all down somewhere to be silly, but we had a whole list of 20, 30 names that were just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, in all seriousness, we had something that just screams rock and roll.
Sure.
So something you see in a marquee, and like, I'm going to go see that band, or
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like one of those things where it's like, I don't think it's really hard to fit on a marquee, let alone an album cover, where it's like, dragging bodies in blue bags up a very long hill. is playing tonight. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, seriously, how's that like ever going to work? But speaking of Bobby, let's bring in Bobby because we love him.
So I got to ask Bill. So you're being the Southern rocker and everything there. Let me get rid of this damn background. It ain't going to be. So you guys are coming out of just putting this album out, and I got to say, you're pulling in a lot of the 80s vibe, but it definitely has that Southern soul to it. So who's your influences there?
You know, that's funny because we never thought about that, but we've heard that a lot. A lot of people are saying this is like, this is like Motley Crue with a, touch of Leonard Skinner or something like, and it, we had no intentions of doing that. It's just what came out of us, I think collectively in this band, like our influences, are different but the same. It's like, I'm a sleaze rock kind of guy, LA Guns, Faster Pussycat, all that kind of good stuff where, Jim's, he's a resident metalhead, and all of us kind of come together on the classics like Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith and all that stuff. So, we had all the rocker influences in there, but I don't know, we live in the South, so I guess some of that came out.
Well, I got to ask, with some of the new country that's coming out, look, you got the rockers down there who, I was more of an old school country guy when my parents were the Patsy Clines growing up, that end, the Waylon Jennings. But then you got the new guys who you got Jason Aldean and Chris Stapleton, which is, just these guys who have their roots in country. But man, you hear the Aerosmith through their weaved in and out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. I consider myself a guitar player for hire sometimes for some cover and tribute bands. So I have played some of that stuff, before.
Yeah.
It's not really my, thing that I listen to, but yeah, I've played some of that modern country.
But it gets that licks. That look, we all grew. We're probably right about the same age. The whole Molly Hatchet area, with the big that end when everything was coming up, where everything was big and jean shorts were small. But it's but you guys definitely got that early. I don't want to say Baton Rouge, but as long as you didn't kill anybody. But oops, sorry, bad Bobby.
I think the one thing that probably the one thing that we purposely try to do, like Chris and I, is just come at it like a 2 guitar approach that's different. Not two guys just shrugging the same riff. Like take it like a Skid Row where you got the 2 guys coming in 2 different directions, or Slash and Izzy, for example. So we purposely try to do stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I do hear the Brad and Joe thing in your licks, which is really cool. I mean, that's so. Again, if anybody hasn't heard the album, definitely it's a must do. It's definitely that's it.
Yeah. The production of the album really just wowed me, man. I mean, I knew the songs were cool when when we were playing them, but to hear the finished product it's really something. It's always something I wanted to put together.
Now, who was your producer? Who'd you work with?
Anthony Fox. So he's,
Nice.
he's from Beautiful Creatures. That was one of my biggest influences of his. But as a producer, he did Vince Neil's Tattoos and Tequila album. Like 10 years ago.
Yep.
And ever since then, I've wanted to work with him, and it finally lined up where I was able to do that with this band. Cool. Yeah. So he's in Nashville now. He used to be in LA, but he's in Nashville now. So, it worked out.
Yeah, everybody's in Nashville now. I just got back. So, it's definitely a cool thing. All right, Jay, man.
Yeah. No worries, man, for sure. Yeah, no, I think that's super duper cool, man, because Bill, like you, man, I'm a big Beautiful Creatures guy.
Yeah.
Like when we had Alex Grossi on the show, I couldn't wait to get over to that part of the conversation. I was definitely ready for that. I was like, Alex, let's talk a little bit about Beautiful Creatures, brother. But so that's definitely super duper cool.
Yeah, that's been a cool part for me. It's just just sit on the phone with Anthony Fox talking about old Beautiful Creature stories. Because I'm I'm coming at it from a fan perspective.
Oh, absolutely. It's like we kind of got to get some work done, but I'm not done talking to you yet.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure, man.
Right.
Absolutely, dude. Like,
And be-
so
yeah.
when it came to where did you land on the name Rebels of the Sun, kind of similar to landing on the name Stone Whiskey?
By complete accident. It was the last song written,
Mhm.
and I don't even remember what it was originally called, but it wasn't Rebels of the Sun. Like
Okay.
when we write songs, we have a riff, and Alan's kind of mumbling some melodies to get it down, and then he goes home and listens to that and puts words to it. So he was mumbling something that sounded like Rebels of the Sun, and we were listening back, and my wife said, "Is he saying Rebels of the Sun? Because that's really cool." And he's like, "Well, no, now I am." Because it defined the whole concept of, like, we only come out at night when the crazy shit goes down, kind of, like, we're rebels of the sun. So just kind of accident, we kind of landed on it, and that built the vibe of the lyrics.
Oh, for sure, man. That's super duper cool for sure. I mean, I would have gotten a kick out of you playing off the name of the band, where like the band's name is Stone Whiskey, but it's like, we're gonna call the album, Drunk in the Garden.
Yeah, right.
Like something like that would be like super duper cool. So I just want to kind of take you back just a little bit to, before like Stone Whiskey, just touching back again, like, around the times that we met with like these bands and stuff like that. Like, are you still like doing that kind of stuff? And at the time, how did you become involved in like doing the tribute band things? Because in particular, Kings of Hollywood was very, very cool. So for anybody who wasn't familiar with that band when Bill was doing it or is doing it, if I need to be corrected, it's they come out and do about a half an hour set of Poison as Poison. They leave for a moment. They come back, the same band as, Motley Crue, dressed as Motley Crue, and do about a half an hour set of there. Then they leave for a little while longer, come back the same band, but with a different front guy, Chad, and would do a full-on set, headlining set of Guns N' Roses tunes. So talk a little bit about that, Bill, and like how that came across doing the 3-band tour thing.
Yeah, that goes back a long time, man. I mean, probably like 2003, time frame. I was in, playing just original rock and roll in Charlotte, and met up with some other guys doing the same thing. We put together a tribute band just as like a side thing, like to play the big venue in town, once in a while. And it was never meant to be our like full-time project, but as soon as we put it together, it got booked like crazy. I immediately bought a van, and we were on the road all the time. Yeah. And so that was a Poison tribute way back then. This was when like Rock of Love was out and all that kind of stuff. So it was popular. And then at some point, the same 4 guys put together a Motley Crue tribute band as 2 separate bands. Like you would either book one or the other. We would show up, dressed one way or something. And at some point, somebody booked them both on the same night. We were like, okay, well, this is, we're getting good money and playing nothing but hits. And it just kept us busy for a long time. And Appetite for Destruction was its own entity. It was its own band. And at some point, like we all just got together and just had this one, massive group of guys who were touring, which, a couple different singers in the same band. Right. And, it's just one of those things where it's like, we didn't really plan it to be that way, but, doing it that way, like just drew crowds and got bookings.
For sure. No, definitely. I mean, and that kind of stuff is like always like super duper cool and super fun. I mean, I've done my fair share of that kind of stuff, and I always enjoyed. I had told people forever, I was like, well, if I'm not building a band from the ground up, I had gotten to a point where I was like, well, I'm no longer really interested in joining anybody else's original project, especially if it's like a bass player, because I'm like, I don't want to be your punk bitch, and I don't want to be the 15th bass player you've had in 6 months. If I'm building it from the ground up, well, rock and roll, let's go. But I was like, I need to feel something out of the music and stuff like that. But when it comes to like tribute bands, I was like, I like that kind of stuff. I mean, I'll play Motley Crue and Poison and Journey and stuff like that, and keep everybody dancing, at a bar or a venue for 3 hours. Like I'm happy to do that and stuff like that. So that's definitely kind of a cool thing for sure. And then after that, like what kind of led to you and Chris kind of branching into like the punk stuff with like the Dookie Project?
Well, I mean, it was just, like Chad, the singer of Appetite, he was taking a break, and me and Chris were like, well, what are we going to do? We got 3 months off. Like, well, let's throw together a band real quick, and we did it as a 3-piece, just me and me and him and our drummer, playing punk rock, and that was put together as a way for us to keep busy for a while. And then it was successfully booked, so we did that for a couple of years.
Nice.
A lot of these bands, you put them together not thinking it's going to turn into some big thing, and then it stays booked so much it takes all your time away from your other stuff. And so there's always a love-hate relationship with the tribute band work, because it is so fun to do and it is so cool, but then it also it takes every bit of your time because it's always booked.
For sure, definitely,
Yeah.
man. That's also gotta come to a certain degree as a nice compliment, dude, because that's got to speak to Chad's singing ability, you and Chris's guitar playing, and the different members of the fraternity, as I like to kind of refer to Kings of Hollywood, because I've seen you guys over a long time with a couple different cogs in the machine and stuff like that, depending on who was available. But that's got to speak to your guys' ability as performers and stuff like that these places want to have you, and you're not just another casual tribute thing that is just booked. So that's got to speak really well to you guys as performers, that you were in demand like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, man. I always said that you should have to have a license to do a tribute band, because there's all these crappy ones that pop up all over the place, and the tribute scene used to be it was a big deal. It was hey, these guys really put some time into the craft. So
Definitely. For sure, man, 100%. Well, Angel, it's about that time, brother. Let's bring you in. And how are you doing this evening, and how are the Metal Summoners doing?
I am doing awesome. Just putting in double duty for the first hour. So it's all rocking and happening.
Producer Angel Alamo.
I can barely do two things at once.
Well, just be grateful that you don't have a big-titted brunette in that room, or you would have real struggles right now doing 3 things.
Oh, damn, where is she? I think she left. But you know what? I got some wonderful questions from Candy Burton.
Right on.
Who wants to know who inspires you?
who inspires me? As a musician, Brian and Ronnie from Kix.
Very
Awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I grew up in Maryland,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Oh yeah. Bill's a local guy.
Yeah. Not anymore. I live in Carolina now, but I grew up in Maryland for my first 20 years of my life. So.
Wow.
Carolina still has a great rock scene.
Oh yeah.
I know we got Kim Sullivan from Ballbuster Music. She's coming to the show on Saturday.
Oh, good. Yeah. Let's give a plug for that. This Saturday, the Lincoln Theater in Raleigh, North Carolina, live music's back. We have 4.
Right now. There we go.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yep.
4 North Carolina bands, 2 bands from Raleigh, 1 from Fayetteville, 1 from Charlotte. We're all promoting new music, new CDs. So everybody's been writing on the downtime, so everybody's coming out of the gate with some cool stuff.
Absolutely, man, for sure. Well, Angel, real quick, let me jump in for just a quick
Sure,
second.
go right ahead.
We're talking casually about off the air is, Bill, your album's out, but your vinyls came in early. For anybody attending that show, are you bringing them?
I'm going to bring them. So we were talking last night about setting up a pre-order because these were due in on August 2nd. So we're going to do pre-order for a couple of weeks, but they arrived on my doorstep today.
Wow.
So
Nice.
There it is. The vinyl.
And they're going to be at the show on Saturday?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Right on, dude. Right back to you, Angel.
Yeah.
Okay. Candy wants to know if you could see any band anywhere in the world, who would it be and where?
Man, that's a good question. The where part, I've seen shows at the rooms we all want to see them in, like the Whiskey and stuff like that. I saw Foo Fighters recently at Madison Square Garden. So,
wow.
I don't know, favorite. If I was going to see any show right now, geez, I actually, you know what? I am seeing the show I want to see. I got tickets for Guns N' Roses coming up in a couple months because I've never seen them. I was in a Guns N' Roses tribute for however many years, and I never saw Guns N' Roses. I mean, I saw everybody individually. I saw Axl with AC/DC. I saw Slash with Miles Kennedy. I saw Duff with Velvet Revolver. I saw Adler with Adler's Appetite. I've seen everybody but Izzy. And he's still,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my concert I'd want to see. I'd want to
So
see.
when are you going to see him?
Right here in Raleigh at our arena, PNC Arena.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, but it'd be cool to see him like Rock in Rio or something crazy, right?
Yeah, I'm hitting day one at Hershey Park here in with Wolfie opening up. So I'm totally stoked about that.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they're playing Baltimore Arena, like 2 blocks from my job.
Yeah.
I've just been lazy about my ticket. I need to go get that. Angel, keep it rolling, my good dude.
Well, let's go to Matt. It's pretty cool. I can do this feature. Is Angel drinking whiskey tonight? Hell yes, I am. Better yet, here's one for you.
Throw
And
it
what's
down,
Bobby
brother.
drinking? Aha, because his ass got up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, when he said aha, I thought it was the pop group. I'm like, you're not drinking pop.
Oh, take on me? No.
Take me on, bro.
If they're watching, you guys owe us money for the free publicity.
Seriously.
Okay, you got a question. It's from Susan. Have you ever played in Canada?
I've been detained in Canada while I was on tour, but I've never played in Canada.
Explain, Lucy.
Would you like to elaborate on that story there, sir?
Yes, this sounds like a good story.
So we were on our way from Rochester to Buffalo, and we had some time to go. We decided we were going to stop at Niagara Falls and to hang out and have some beers or something. And the driver accidentally got off the exit that went to the Canada entry point. And he told him, "Yeah, we just took the wrong exit. We just want to turn around. We're not trying to come into Canada." And he's like, "Yeah, go talk to this guy right there, and he'll let you turn around." Obviously, when we went to talk to that guy, he's like, "Yeah, pull in this parking lot." And they searched everything in our van. It was your standard rock and roll van with coolers full of everything. And I don't know, we were in there for about 2 hours. They looked at every picture on our phone and everything. And then at some point, they were like, "All right, have a good day." And then so then then we were scared about like coming back into the U.S. customs with all of this beer, but we didn't want to throw it away. So we sat in Canada and drank every bit of it before we drove back through.
Yes,
Right?
that reminds me.
Not the smartest decision, but no, I've never played in Canada. I mean, I've played in probably 40 of the 50 states, including Alaska and Mexico, some of South America, but I've never played in Canada. Let's change that.
Well,
Hopefully, you get
yeah.
the chance to. That reminds me to delete porn from my phone before I go to Canada.
Susan, that means that you need to talk to some venues there in Canada and get Stone Whiskey booked there, girl. That's how that works.
That's right. We go anywhere. Yep.
So if you're in Canada, please request Stone Whiskey.
Yep.
And
Give us a
tell
call.
Border Patrol to go easy on us. We just want to rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another question from our lovely Matt Porter.
Yeah.
Wherever the hell he is. Bill has a lot of ink. What was this first piece? And do you have a favorite?
My first piece was this little star with flame. I don't know if you can see it here. I don't know. There's a piece on my wrist. Cool. It's a star with flames, and it was done at Sunset Strip Tattoo in L.A. in West Hollywood. Just because that's where all the cool people got their tattoos, right? So when I was out there, I was like, all right, I'm going there to get my first tattoo. And this is 20 years ago or something. And then everything else I got in Charlotte when I lived down in Charlotte, North Carolina, from a girl named Jen Small at Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And everything she drew on me with an ink pen, just from, I just wanted some old school stuff. So, some of my favorites are like the zombie girl here.
Nice.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about doing some more. We did a video shoot this weekend in a tattoo shop with, so which inspired me to like, all right, I need to get some more tattoos.
Nice. Oh yeah.
I see a chest piece coming or something. Yeah.
Also, the new album, the debut album,
Yeah.
it kicks ass. I mean,
Thanks.
it just fucking rocks. They always say you have your whole life to write your first album. So my question is, are there any leftover songs from the debut album?
There are actually, and it's funny because like these aren't songs that we've been holding on to. Like these are brand new songs. Like me and Alan just did all this within the last year, so we do have a lot of stuff. We have me and Alan and Chris and everybody. We send stuff back and forth on our phone of us in our phone going da 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 da, just ideas, riff ideas. And we have a ton of that stuff to go through. We have a song that we didn't put on the album that we need to finish because we timed the album out to be the perfect length for vinyl, which, once you start getting over 40 minutes, the quality goes down. So that's why we did 9 songs instead of 10.
Oh.
So yeah, we have songs in the bank and we've written about, 4 or 5 more in the last couple months here. So our plan is, make videos for all these songs and promote this album for a while. And then, by the time that dies down, we'll be ready to get the second album out.
Is there like a timeline for the next record, or just whenever it's done?
Sooner than later. Let's put that. I don't want to set a date that we don't meet or something.
No,
but,
dates
are.
are.
I was like, let's put out a video a month for all 9 songs, and then there'll be a year will go by, we'll have a new album. But that's turned into okay, we need more 2 months in between to film and edit and all this. So
yeah,
we still want to finish out making videos for all these songs. Probably one every 2 months. We're 4 or 5 in at this point. I think we have 4 released. We filmed another one this weekend. We're filming another one 2 weeks from now. And, we're in the writing process. And then last time we recorded this, when we recorded this album, we did it in a couple of months. It wasn't that time consuming. But a lot of it was just going back and forth with Anthony because we were in different places. He was in Nashville and we were in Raleigh. And he was also working on Night Ranger and Buck Cherry's record at the same time. So, I don't know. I don't want to overpromise anything, but let's a year. I don't know. Within another year, we'll have another one.
You know what? It's rock and roll. Nobody's keeping count on what time it is. I don't know what time it is right now.
What I definitely don't want to do is let people get bored of or hey, what happened to Stone Whiskey? I want to keep it in your face.
Yeah.
Once the attention dies down from this album, I want to have another one ready.
For sure. No, that's actually a great comment, Bill, because that's actually something we've discussed a lot in recent episodes with our guests is how cruel music can be, that if you take too much time out of the spotlight, the next thing just kind of takes your place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a good question.
We're coming. Got more questions?
Question from our hometown person, Kim Sullivan. She wants to know what's something you want to learn or wish you were better at.
I wish. Well, I always wanted to learn other instruments, but I've been playing guitar my whole life, so I wish I could go back as a kid and take vocal lessons or piano lessons or something like that. But guitar's my thing right now. Something I wish I was better at would be I don't know. I seem to overcommit myself all the time. I'm completely stressed out right now because I have 10 things going on. Yeah. Better planning. Yeah.
I'm gonna kick it right back up to Jay.
Cool. No worries, man. Absolutely. Bill, I wanted to touch base on a couple of songs when it came to the album, but the first one that I actually want to just jump on real quick is Feels Like Yesterday, because you just put out a video for that, stemming off mentioning that you want to do more videos, and you did the tattoo shop one. But yeah, talk a little bit about Feels Like Yesterday in that video.
Yeah, so that is our ballad, so every good rock album needs a huge ballad. So that's ours. And it's a real song, right? The lyrics came from a heartfelt place for Alan, and we wrote the whole song just on a couch, acoustic guitar and singing, and then now it turned into this 6-minute song with multiple guitar solos and piano and all kinds of stuff. So the video's out. If you haven't seen it, check out the video. Like we got some really cool behind the scenes footage in the studio. You know, recording all the different parts. So
Totally.
check it out.
Yeah, man, and you spoke off the air about, you know, having a couple of like guest musicians on that particular song, and that was the one that worked well. Having a couple of guest musicians, and that was the song that it worked out best for.
Yeah, that's the only song we brought in guest musicians, and so Anthony Fox, when he mixed it, he sent us a mix back, and he says, you know, hey man, I think you should put some strings on this or some, you know, keyboard or whatever. And I was totally against it. I was like, I hate keyboards. They wash out everything. It's not my style. And he's like, just trust me, man. Just put some light strings or, you know, some piano. And yeah, we knew a girl named Dina in our town here who's a classically trained pianist. I guess that's how you pronounce it, right? Pianist.
Yeah.
And so with no direction, we just kind of gave her the song, just like, you know, do your thing to it. And she did strings and she did a piano. And then when Fox put it in, we heard it, and it was immediately like almost in tears. I was like, I called it. I was like, turn it up, you know, because we just had it buried in the mix as like an ambient thing. It's like, no, that part is killer, so turn it up. So I was happy he suggested that. She's actually going to come play that song with us at the Lincoln this Saturday. And then we, you know, at the end, that whole song is kind of like, you know, building up to this big climax at the end. It starts out like acoustic and singing, and then we got drums coming in, and bigger and bigger. So at the end, we wanted a really big chorus. So got my wife to sing some high background vocals on the very last chorus to kind of, you know, finish that climb on the song. Yeah, she's from the band Shoot the Thrill, you know, the all-girl AC/DC tribute.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Definitely, man, for sure.
Yeah, so that song turned out, you know, that to be my favorite song, you know.
Nice. That's super duper awesome. And one of the other ones I wanted to touch base on was Empty Eyes. Is there anything that you can like tell us about how that song came together?
Yeah, most of these songs just came together like with a riff, you know. I'm just jamming a riff, and Alan kind of mumbles some melodies over top of it, and then, you know, when we get something that sounds cool, he puts words to that, and then you know, present it to the guys, and they build it from there. It's one of those ones where me and Chris take like the back and forth, you know, guitar solo approach, you know.
For sure. Absolutely, man. And the other one I wanted to touch base on, Mirror. Is it a similar with Mirror as well?
Yeah, same kind of thing. So Mirror, that's going to be a fun video to make, you know. So that's, you know, if you've, you know, listened or read the lyrics or anything, you know, it's about a girl getting ready in the mirror, you know, like, you know, kissing in the air and lipstick and leather, and, you know, so the whole thing is like she's getting ready to go out to a rock and roll show, right? So the concept of the video will be, you know, you see her in the mirror, and maybe we're in the mirror, I don't know, and then she's in the car looking in the mirror in a mirror case, and then she ends up at the you know, some kind of dive bar where we're playing at a show. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's, you know, that's like a sleazy you know, throwback kind of song, you know.
Nice. All right, there, Metal Summoners, beautiful girls that want to partake in a video. Reach out to Bill if he hasn't already cast the part.
I know, right? Yeah, we're always looking.
Absolutely. Bobby Dreyer, let's kick it down to you, brother.
So we're going to kick it to, I'm going to go into Gearland and, you know, a little bit of touch base on my favorite subject.
Yeah.
Wood.
Yeah.
So how good do you know your wood?
I love gear, so let's talk.
Okay. So let's. I see that you're endorsed by Spawn Amps.
Yeah.
How did that relationship come about? And then we'll talk about the 6-string fever that we always have. So, but your relationship with Spawn Amps.
Yeah. So that was like back in 2012 when I hooked up with Scott Splawn for the endorsement, and I was. We were heavily booked at the time with Appetite for Destruction, the Guns N' Roses tribute band, and I sent over, you know, I was a fan of his amps, you know, just from other people who had them, and I'm a big Marshall JCM 800 guy.
Yes.
And so I just sent over a note to Splawn. I was like, here's my tour dates that I've played for the last X number of years. Here's my upcoming tour dates. I'd love to play your amp. What can you do? And, you know, he said. Actually, what he told me is like, I'd love to get my amp on your kind of stages and your types of venues, because we were playing like House of Blues and Fillmore and those type of venues.
Yeah.
He's like, the guys that are playing in the arenas, like, does anybody even see the amp? And he's like, most of those guys are flying in and using backlines. They're using Marshalls anyways at their gigs, even though they're endorsed by Spawn. So
Yeah.
He's a really cool guy. Like, anytime I needed anything, like if I blew a tube, he would FedEx to me my hotel while I'm on the road. So he's always taking good care of me. So I use those Spawns on the record, as well as just some regular old JCM 800s.
Which model of the Spawn are you using? I mean, look, I'm a big fan of JCM 800s. I'm also a big fan of EVH amps. Big shout out to Fender for those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a tone chaser as well. So whether it's a JTM 45, Soldano, you name it. And then I have my classics. 54 Blackface, just going that route. But which Spawn are you going for more of a classic, good old boy rock and roll, Ted, turn it up, blow your genitals across the room, or are you going for the shred metal where it's basically so much treble that it's just
No, I don't go for that. I go for the old fashioned. My tone is a JCM 800 with a tube screamer in front of it. That's always been my tone. So when I went to Splon, that was the tone I was chasing, without the pedals, so like the Splon has a little extra, push to it where, you don't need the tube screamer anymore, but you still get that old Marshall vibe. So no, I don't want the death metal thing where we're, cranking the gain and all that stuff. I want the classic crunch. So so I run. I got two Crick rods that one's a main amp, one's a backup amp. They're both the same, and then I've got two 800s. One's a reissue, the 1-channel, and one's like an 84 2-channel. But I don't ever use the second channel. I'm one of those guys who just roll my volume off. If I want clean. You turn the volume up. If you want dirty, you roll it off. If you ever watch the rig rundowns on YouTube
I always do. To me, it's like porn.
Yeah, my favorite ones are always the ones that are like, I just plug my guitar into my amp, and he's like, well, how do you get clean? I turn my guitar down. How do you get solo volume? I turn it back up.
Yeah, little Angus. You got to go the whole Angus route, and that's the best thing about it. Yeah, I'm looking. So you're either running what EL34s or 84s?
Yeah.
And yours, are you running straight 100 watt or 50s on stage?
I do 100 watt on stage, but my backup 2-channel 800 is a 50 watt, and both my Splons are 100. Yeah.
Very cool. And if anybody wants to check them out, definitely go to splonguitars.com. Great stuff. The other thing I want to ask you, now let's get back into wood because it's my favorite subject. Your go-to guitar, that thing that you just go, this is it. It's molded in your hand.
Les Paul. I'm a Les Paul guy now, probably till death. But growing up, I hated Les Pauls. I was into hair metal, and I had Jacksons and Ibanez's and ESPs and all that stuff. And then I always hated a Les Paul because I couldn't reach the top registers very comfortably. It's like holding a block of wood. And then when I got this role in Appetite playing Slash, I bought a Les Paul, and I've never looked back. Now
is there a specific model that
I like the classic. So I have a few different models. I have a custom, but it's heavy and it doesn't sound as good to me. So I have a 2012 classic that's my favorite, and then I recently picked up two newer ones. I don't even remember the years, but so just to have some different color options. So I have a sunburst, I have a cherry, I have a black, ebony. But yeah, the classics is my go-to.
Yeah, these guys know. So I was just down in Nashville. I had the opportunity, if anybody wants to go back and take a look, I had the opportunity to interview JC, James Curley, the president of Gibson, at the new Gibson garage in Nashville, Tennessee. And amazing thing right there. They're building me a 1-off right now, which is definitely, it's a 74 Randy But I'm having it done with a Floyd. My buddy at FU Tone is going to be doing that, and Adam Reaver. Big shout out there to Adam. And so it's going to be a little bit, but the whole neck is going to be all custom with a little bit of a kiss Dolly Parton. So it's, yeah, got to go that route. But the cool thing is, like you, I was the 80s shred head. You know, I got all the other guitars over there, and there's nothing like picking up a chunk and just going, you know, you can't get. To me, it was Joe Perry that made me sit there and look at a Les Paul and just go, that just something about Joe, his swag and everything. Nugent with the Birdland, wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm the same way, man. So, you know, with the amps and guitars, I always go back to the classics. I mean, I've tried other stuff. Like at one point, I went through a little phase in my life where I was like, all right, I got a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. I got these EMG active pickups. You know, it sounds tough, but then it's like, you know, it can't. You got to go back to the classic Marshall sound, and
then everything starts breaking on you, and it's like, to me, I love a one and done cord cable plug in. That's it, and the guys who do that the best, yourself, Reb Beach, Slash, Angus, you know, they're kind of like my diehard heroes.
Oh yeah, and then there's, you know, I refuse to do the modeling thing. You know, everybody's doing the amp modeling and stuff, digital amps, and so I got to have a tube. I got to have tubes, and I got to go turn it on an hour before my gig to make sure it's nice and warm.
Nice.
Our favorite non-Catholic just jumped on.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. How are we doing?
We're doing good.
Good. We missed you. Oh,
Yeah.
More.
Cycles. He wasn't. He just got here. No, I'm just playing.
Some people got to work, you know.
We all got to work, brother, man.
I got it.
But
Good evening, Mr. Spears. How are you?
Pretty good. Good to see you.
You too, man. Thank you for joining us this evening. Sorry for my tardiness.
That's all right. Welcome to the party.
Thank you.
There we go.
So
Had
I
show
listen
that
to your
handsome
music
face.
on the way to work and then on the way home from work. Love the new material.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
So-
Thank you. Hope you cranked it up nice and loud.
Of course. What? I couldn't hear you.
I hope you cranked it up nice and loud.
Yes. Loud and proud.
Nice.
So, all right. So, where do we leave off? I heard a bunch of the questions that I was going to ask. So, thank you guys. Appreciate asking all the questions I wanted to. Just wanted to point that out there.
Well,
So,
sorry,
is it my
bro.
turn,
Taylor,
or am I
sometimes
just
that
putting it in
happens.
front of everybody?
No, it's your turn, Lord.
No.
Okay.
Come into the party.
Sweet. Okay. So, I didn't know because I missed a part of it because I don't get really good reception in my elevator coming to my apartment. So the question I have for you, how did the name come about?
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. It's just we were throwing words around. You know, we wanted something simple, rock and roll. You know, classic name, and you know, trying to find something that hadn't been done before. You know, so Stone Whiskey is just, it kind of represents us. We drink a lot of whiskey. I don't know if that played any role in it or not, but
Nice. And then the other question is, was guitar your first instrument?
it was. Yeah, I started playing guitar at 16. So
Okay.
yeah, it was like I was a huge like metalhead, you know, music fan, you know, hair metal fan, whatever you want to call it. But I didn't really know that normal people could play guitar. I thought you had to like be born with that kind of talent or something. And when I realized, at 16, I saw one of my buddies was in a band. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna do that. And I went out and bought a guitar and started learning it.
Nice.
And,
Do you still own the guitar?
I do.
Cool. What kind of guitar is it?
My first guitar was a Washburn. I don't remember the model, but you know, had a Floyd Rose on it, and you know, good old school. It was black, but at some point I sanded it down and painted it neon pink. You know,
Cool.
put some weird stickers on it. But yeah, I still have it. Yeah.
Awesome. And do you still use it?
it's been retired for a long time. It's just hanging on the wall. But the funny thing is the case that it came in, the hard case, I traveled with that for like 20 years. Like it is completely beat up, cracked, and duct taped together. But up until I started playing Les Pauls, because it was a Fender style size case, so it would fit any one of those guitars. So it went everywhere with me, like all over the country and internationally. And then it's in my storage room somewhere, beat to death. But
awesome.
You should turn that into like something in your house for like display, whether it's like a mini little bookshelf or something kind of like display worthy. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I remember like the last few years I was carrying around. I used to tell the story so much that people would just start rolling their eyes, like, oh, there's the guitar case story again. Yeah, he's been carried around for 20 years. But yeah, it's a good memory of the first purchase.
Yeah, but it's a virgin story for this show.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a word we don't hear much.
Yeah,
you like virgins here. Stories too. So, all right. So you're a North Carolinian. I used to live in South Carolina.
Oh, cool.
Everything. As far as in, what would you define the biggest show that you ever done, and with who?
Biggest show done, probably with Appetite for Destruction, the Guns N' Roses tribute. And we did. We played at 10,000 people in Mexico, and then we played at 8,000 people at a stadium in Texas. Those are the biggest. I mean, most of our shows were, Live Nation style venues. 1,000, 1,500 type people, 2,000 people. But yeah, those big ones where you're looking out at 10,000 people. I was playing in Mexico, and the drum riser was taller than me, and I'm a pretty tall dude. And I was playing, and pyro started going off. I didn't even know we had pyro. It's like, okay, I'm glad I wasn't standing there.
God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Set yourself up for your own little like James Hetfield.
Oh yeah,
issue.
Like safety. I guess safety was of no concern at the time. It was,
Those Mexicans, I'm telling you.
They just wanted. They needed that. They needed that show. They needed that boom, even at the expensive bill. And they'll find another guitar player. We're gonna blow this one up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'll make a good story. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Dude, that's super duper wild for sure. So, Bill, I wanted to ask you, just kind of out of like, curiosity, if you can go into the detail that you choose, but your wife plays, like you said, in Shoot the Thrill, as a guitar player as well. Did you guys meet at a show? Were you at a show as fans?
Yeah, I met her at one of her shows. So, I was just, I think the way it went down was like, her bass player bought a shirt at one of my shows and told me about her band. And then I checked out the calendar, and they were playing nearby somewhere. And I went to check it out and just, started chatting with her. And next thing you know, we're married. We're like the same person. I've never met anybody that, we do the exact same thing. She's running around in a van, playing guitar with Shoot the Thrill, and I'm running around the van, playing with Stone Whiskey. So,
That's super duper cool. So it's kind of funny. So we had Patrick Kennison on the show not that long ago, who's in Lita Ford's band, but his girlfriend is in the Iron Maidens.
Oh, cool.
We had this interesting little conversation about guitars and gear, where he was telling us like, he had these guitars that he played, but his girlfriend was already with Schecter, and he had played one of her guitars and was like, I like this guitar, and that's what led to him actually getting an endorsement with Schecter as well. Cool. To tie this with you guys, do you ever kind of like bounce gear off of each other or stuff like that?
I have taken her speaker cabinet apart to see why it sounds better than mine, because it has the same speakers, but for some reason it sounds better.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, we definitely talk gear. Like, I'm playing some of her guitars in that Feels Like Yesterday video because they look so cool. But
nice.
Yeah, she's definitely got the same type of vibe as far as she plugs her Gretsch right into a Marshall, turns it up. That's it. Nothing else. No pedals.
Nice.
So she's amazing.
Has she ever come home to something of hers in pieces and been like, Bill's at it again?
And when we very first met, one of our first times we were out together, I ran over her guitar on the side of the highway by accident.
What?
And you're still
Yeah.
together?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking the same thing.
So yeah, we had a flat tire, and to get to the tire, I had to take the guitars out and set them on the ground. And then when I'm jacking the car up, the jack started like bending over, and I couldn't unhook it, right? So I was like, let me just back the car up a little bit to straighten the jack out, and it like fell off the jack and ran over the guitar. And and this was like a limited edition Gibson Flying V that there was only like 500 made. It was some kind of white Falcon thing. And believe it or not, it is untouched. The only thing like the case got screwed up a little, but the guitar is fine.
Oh
I
my
literally
God.
ran it over with a car.
Oh, wow. That shows about their cases. And
Yeah,
that's a
no,
Gibson
right.
case?
It was the Gibson case. Yeah, some of the latches
Yeah.
popped off, but and it's got a crack in it. But yeah, the guitar was fine. Yeah, so that was one of our first gear experiences, and she's still married to me. So
Oh, that's amazing.
Cell phone companies should take word from Gibson about making cases for their phones.
Maybe
Seriously.
Gibson should make cases for the phones.
Right? Damn straight.
Oh,
yeah.
God damn
But
straight.
yeah,
True
yeah,
words.
when I'm not gigging, I roadie for her. So they're all over the map.
Hey, Bill, what is that go-to Paul that you would always want? That you always chased after?
The go-to what?
Paul, Les Paul, that you kind of, drool about.
I think I have it, man. I mean, because my Sunburst Classic, it's got all the the scars and scratches and things that you couldn't buy. So when I look at it, I'm like, you know what? All those indentions in the front, they came from me. Those came from my bracelet, or those came from my belt buckle, or that came from me dropping it when I was in Alabama or whatever. They all, every little battle scar has a story. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I don't think, even though I've bought newer Les Pauls, that's still the one that's my favorite.
Nice.
What year is that one?
That's a 2012. I bought it brand new in 2012, and it's been on the road with me ever since. So it's it's got almost a decade of battle scars on it.
How many guitars do you take
Nice.
on the road with you?
I only take two. Try to go light. So all of our songs are just in the same tuning and everything. So I got one on and one as a backup.
Nice. Right
Very
on.
cool.
Yeah.
When you were doing like the Motley band and you were doing like your Mick Mars thing, I would always kind of notice like the Fender that you were playing for that with some of the nicks and like battle scars that you had on that one.
Yeah.
Was that a guitar that you kind of like worked on and kind of janked up a little bit to kind of give it that look? Because if anybody's familiar, of course, with seeing Mick Mars over the years with the white Fender that he plays with like the wrist rubbing or the bracelet rubbing and stuff like that. But did you tweak up your Fender to kind of give it that look?
Yeah, that one I did because it was playing the part in a tribute band. So I put one of those steel pads on the end of a drill and went to it to make it look like that. And that time I took 6 guitars with me. It was nuts, right? Because I was doing 3 different parts that are in 3 different tunings and iconic looks and all that kind of stuff. So these days, we're like we're riding around in a van with in a trailer with limited capacity, right?
Oh, for sure, dude. Well, yeah, because speaking of that, like, I mean, I'm sure you still have it, but the flaming Les Paul, I mean, the flaming V that you would use for your CC stuff in Poison, you still have it?
I don't know if you can see up here. Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
Where is it? Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So I still have those things.
Oh, for sure. Because Chris had to go through similar things because he was Bobby Dahl in the Poison band.
Yeah, we had to go through all kinds of like signature instruments, and you can't just buy those, so we would usually build them. I built that Flaming V from Warmoth parts, and then had a motorcycle painter paint it with the flames.
Oh,
and
wow.
And then the Fender, I just, you can't, it's hard to find a Fender with a Floyd Rose. So I found one and then put a better neck on it and put better pickups in it. And then,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, that's sick, dude. That's super duper rad. Angel, let's kick it back up to you, brother, and the fans.
Just want to thank the fans for their patience. So Melissa Styles, our legendary, wonderful photographer, she wants to know, who are some of your biggest musical influences, dead or alive?
Yeah, I think the two I mentioned earlier were Brian and Ronnie from Kicks, just because I love their guitar style, their style in general. As people, I got the opportunity to play with them a few times on some bills, and it was just the coolest guys to hang out with. Tracy Guns might come to mind as another guitar influence. I went through phases of metal too. I like Metallica type stuff too, but most of my stuff was the hair metal guys. I guess you have to put Slash in there because I played in a Guns N' Roses tribute for a while, so some of that rubbed off on me. Yeah.
And we got Matt Porter. He wants to know, what was your first guitar, and do you still have it?
Yeah, my first guitar was a Washburn, and it's hanging on the wall somewhere. It's not playable, but it looks cool because I spray painted it neon pink. The pink stuff that people spray on the roads to mark lines.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have one of these nozzles. It has one with your thumb. I literally sprayed it with that. And it put some stickers on it, and it looks badass. I think battle scars on guitars looks cool. So I built a Les Paul from Warmoth one time and just spray painted it flat black like a rat rod.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of trivia right here, Bill. So I'm going to show you 3 Pauls. Now, first question, are you a Kiss fan?
Sure. Who's not?
Okay. Name what year Ace used each Paul.
Oh yeah,
this is Matt's.
78. 82.
Close. And
okay, 88.
It's more Love Gun.
All right, you got me on those. Yeah, those are nice looking.
Nice and beat up. They have road work.
Yeah, very cool. Nice collection.
That just touches the surface, not even.
What's that?
I said it doesn't even touch your surface of guitars.
I was gonna say, I wish I knew. Like, if we were gonna do show and tell, I would have pulled out some stuff,
Oh yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Yeah, we'll do a whole gear session.
I'll walk you around the studio. There's about 160 in here.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Shit happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are Bobby's children.
Oh, all of his children for sure. Well, Angel, let me kick it back to you, brother, and stick with the fans.
Yeah, Paul Bowman says saw Stone Whiskey played their first live show in Greensboro. You guys are great. Say hi to Alan and Jim. Do you have any memories of your very first show?
Yeah. The first show wasn't that long ago. It was in this year sometime when we were able to do shows again, and it was at the Blind Tiger in Greensboro, and we just we played our album front to back, 45-minute set, and man, it just felt great. There's some cell phone videos out there somewhere that look really cool, but we didn't get anything really captured of that, but it was amazing to see this band come together. We just put it together here at my house and wrote some songs. The next thing you know, we're playing the album live. It's a great feeling.
And got a question from Mike. What is up, guys? Hey, Bill, do you still got that show coming up in South Carolina?
Yeah, so I guess he's talking about August 20th at the Spinning Jenny. Yeah, so that's when we'll be in South Carolina. So I can go ahead and shout out our shows if you allow me.
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
Please.
This is your show, folks.
Yeah, cool. So this Saturday we're in Raleigh, our hometown. So we're hoping everybody comes out the 24th at the Lincoln Theater. It's gonna be great. August 20th, we're going down to South Carolina, a place called the Spinning Jenny, another cool venue.
What part of South Carolina is that?
It's down in like Anderson, South Carolina, like down a little south of Greenville. If you're going like 85 towards Atlanta. And then September 4th, we're back in Raleigh at a place called the Poor House, which is a nice local venue with a couple of the Raleigh bands. And then we got a little. We're going back to Greensboro again. So tell Paul we're going to be at the Blind Tiger again on October 1st, and then we're in Charlotte on October 2nd. So that's our upcoming shows for the next couple of months, and hopefully we'll add a lot more to that list soon.
We'll get a BLE show on there for you.
Yeah, man, hook it up, man. Brad's a good dude. We were happy to come up and play with you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Candy Burton wants to know, what was the first concert you saw live?
Believe it or not, it was Rod Stewart.
Nice.
So my mother was a huge Rod Stewart fan, and she took me to a concert when I was like in 5th grade. I think it did have an effect on me. For a long time I had a Rod Stewart hairdo. Not quite standing up anymore, but for a while I did. Yeah, I was just that guy's a rocker, man. It was badass. Yeah. That was you might remember, Jay. I mean, that was at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland.
Yeah.
So that's where all the shows were. When I was growing up in Maryland, it's torn down now, but that's where the anything that was rolling through at that time, it was there.
Merriweather Post Pavilions picked up a lot of that slack too. In fact, I think they have Rod on their calendar because they had him before COVID. So hopefully he'll come back through and stuff, because I wouldn't hate to go see Rod Stewart for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that stuff influenced me. My mom was big into that, and like Billy Idol and this, some really cool things. So, yeah.
No, definitely. My dad was the rocker person, but my mom had her charm. I've said it on the show a bunch of times. Like, my mom gave me my first Queen record, so yeah. And I've been head over heels for Queen ever since. So I totally get it. Mom's musical powers work too.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep rolling with it, Angel.
Okay, here's a good question from Jeannie. BLE shows were the first time I saw you. Thank you. Do you have a favorite female singer or guitarist?
Yeah, that's a great question. I see my wife's on the chat. She's my favorite singer and guitar player. How's that go?
Awesome. I was praying that you would say that.
On the couch.
I was like, Lord, please let him say that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I already told you earlier. I take apart your gear to try to figure out why it sounds better than mine. And she sang backup on the record. So yeah.
Wow.
And got another question from Wendy. She wants to know, what's your favorite Stone Whiskey song to play live?
That ballad is just so touching to me. Like, I love all the rockers too, but there's something about playing that and seeing how people's reactions are and like the emotions around it. I love that ballad. Feels like yesterday. And it's got a cool like slashy solo in the middle. It's got the big Night Ranger drum fills. It's a really cool song to play.
I have a question for you. I guess because you kind of have the internet and YouTube, where when you go to a show, people are always recording. Does it kind of make you kind of nerve-wracking about the band? For example, like having a moment where somebody just messes up, or anything like that?
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just, after you do it for a while, it's just kind of, you just know how to recover, right?
All right.
People are going to mess. I don't care who you are. You're going to mess up. I mean, Rush has to rehearse before they go on tour. It's going to happen,
Not
or things. Yeah, I know, not anymore. Yeah, but I mean, things are going to happen. Even if you don't mess up, you're going to break a string. You're going to blow a tube. Stuff's going to happen. You just deal with it.
For sure, man. Absolutely. I think we need to kick it back to the Psycho Steve and bring him back in on this bitch.
Oh, yes.
So come on, dude.
So I lived in a suburb of Charleston, South Carolina, a town called Somerville.
Oh yeah, familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I've been to North Carolina quite a few times. I got to see Kiss, and of course the boys of Firehouse at Amos. I think it's called Amos.
Yeah, Amos at South End in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yep.
I introduced the Squirrel Nut Zippers in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. And I saw Ace get in a fight with Paul Stanley in Raleigh.
There you go. You got a lot of North Carolina stories. Huh?
Yeah. So the question is there a bucket list band that you would like to go on tour with? And who would it be?
Yeah, I mean, a band to go on tour with. I mean, there'd be a lot of bands, like I was talking about Beautiful Creatures and stuff like that. But I'd like to go on tour with one of the classic ones. Like think about like going on with AC/DC or Aerosmith or Guns N' Roses or something like that. Just to see that side of what the huge production would really be like.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you said, I heard over when I was driving home that you said you never got to see Guns N' Roses live. You got to see everybody but Izzy, but you've never got to see.
Right. I saw everybody individually, but yeah. So now I've got tickets to Guns N' Roses here in a couple months. So I'm gonna cross that off the bucket list.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I got to see Guns N' Roses 3 times. I got to see them once it was Guns N' Roses, Sebastian Bach. And then it was Guns N' Roses, Faith No More, Metallica. And then I got to see them solo just by themselves at a place in New York City called the Ritz.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, my wife was at that famous Ritz show, the Live at the Ritz, that was so popular for Guns N' Roses. She was like in high school and took a bus down. She lived in Jersey and took a bus down to that show to see Great White. And so yeah.
Nice. Your wife's from Jersey? Where is she from in Jersey?
Yeah, Nutley.
Oh, cool. I live 10 minutes away from Nutley. I'm in East Orange.
Oh, cool.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And you know who lived in Nutley was Joe Lynn Turner for a little while before he moved to Russia.
Oh, right.
So, yeah. So useless information, I know. So
yeah. Yeah. So I used to play it on your way at the Music Farm down in Charleston.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good venue. I don't know if they're still around.
Yes. And then do you know Caley Knight, who used to book there? His name's Caley. Okay. Or there's another club, Ground Zero, in
Spartanburg.
Spartanburg, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I played there. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, man.
He says in State's not in Nutley. It's off of 17. Who's this Jim Hamby? Kick him off. Anyway.
Steven, are you making enemies again?
Trying to.
Trying. Sure. Right on, man, for sure.
All right, we got to get you to play a Jersey show, though.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, we played. Well, I mean, not this band. I played in Dingbats like right before things shut down. So I'd like to get back up there again with Stone Whiskey. Yeah.
All right, we have to talk.
Yeah. If whoever's listening, give me a call. So we'll play anywhere.
I've heard rumblings of a Dingbat show, so we might be able to. Steve might be able to assist you there, Bill.
Yeah. All right.
Let me know what you have planned. October 22nd.
Okay. Well,
look at your calendar, and then you were friends on Facebook, so you could just message me.
Yeah, I'm making note now.
Yep.
October 26th.
That's a Friday,
Yes.
right?
It is a Friday. Yes, week
Yeah.
before Masquerade. Woo!
Yep.
So what's
Oh, yeah,
going on, Steve?
That looks like a good lineup.
There's Exotica that weekend too.
What's that?
Just
What's that? What's that weekend, Angel?
Exotica.
Nice.
Where?
In Edison, New Jersey. So I'll be going back and forth
Edison.
between porn and rock and roll. I'll be going back and forth.
Well, I'll go.
I have to.
I'll be there. Nothing wrong about going in and out.
Don't cry, Steve. It's okay.
We'll go to
It's very
both.
well.
Steve's froze.
He's froze or he's wiping away the tear. You know what? But this is kind of cool because it looks like he's crying. Oh, darn. It's okay to cry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve.
I was
Were you
crying,
listening
too.
to the ballad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ballad had him crying. See?
Yeah, that's it.
This is the ballad part of the
Sure.
episode.
It did hit me there.
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
the
there
ballad part where we get in touch with our emotional feelings.
Sure.
Exactly. Well, Bobby, let's kick it over to you, brother.
So you mentioned about some of your go-to bands that you'd want to play with, but who would you like to have open up for you? I mean, are there any up-and-coming bands that you sit there and go, look, I'd love to go out with these newer guys, you know, the Dirty Honey, you know, Rival Sons, you know.
Yeah. So I actually contacted Dirty Honey's publicist to see if she would work with us because I'm a fan of what they're doing. You know, they're an unsigned act and they're killing it. But unfortunately, her roster was full, and so yeah, Dirty Honey's one I would love to get with. Rival Sons is another one.
Well, they were just, I just got to speak. The reason I bring that up, they were just in at the Gibson Garage. They doing a show tonight with the Black Crows.
Oh yeah, I saw they landed that tour. That's good for them, man.
But I don't know how long they're on the leg for that. But I can put you in touch with a couple people at Gibson too. So
Yeah.
you know, which might help you out.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm a big supporter of Gibson. So
And the other thing too, we touched on it. Other than your wife, any female rockers out there that currently that impress you? You know, it could be, you know, her, Lizzie Hale.
yeah. Yeah, I've crossed paths with Lizzie Hale before in Nashville at an open jam night. She was really cool, and she's a rocker for sure. You know, back in the old days, I was a fan of Vixen. You know, when I was a fan of all the hair metal stuff. So
Yeah,
you know, anybody who
Lita.
yeah, sure, yeah, Lita's great.
Joan Jett.
Yeah, man, you can't go wrong with the classics.
Now, would you ever consider doing, you know, a ballot with an up and coming star, or even doing a crossover like how Pink just did with Keith Urban, with, you know, but even just pulling somebody from a different genre and doing it that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Alan made a comment one time where he's like, "I hope somebody in Nashville feels like yesterday and wants to, you know, cover, you know, remake it or duet or something like that." Because yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, Pink's really cool. She, if you've seen her new special, that's really.
She's great. She's from my town here in Doylestown. Justin Guarini, Lizzie's from right around here. So, you know, which is really cool. But yeah, she's amazing artist and she loves hanging out in the dive bars when she comes back here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I do when I'm traveling. I have a little trick where I pull up the TouchTunes jukebox app and the jukebox is near me, and I find which bar is playing the coolest music, and then that's where I go. You know, because yeah. So I'm all about finding dive bars. It's my mission in life after the gig.
Love dive bars.
Yep.
For sure. Like touching also a little bit on Gear Bill, when it comes to like picks and stuff like that, it seems you've always kind of been a pretty like standard, like medium sized guy. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, I do heavies and
Heavies.
Yep. So, well, unless I'm playing acoustic, I do mediums. But yeah, I do heavies, and from Intune guitar picks, You know, I've been on their roster for 15 years or so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, to the point where I just, I never even tell them I'm in a new band. I just log into my artist account and order new picks, and they never complain. So
Oh, nice.
they're always good to me.
That's cool. They've actually been making my picks for years now too. I mean, I'm not an endorsed artist with them. It's just I've always just liked the stuff that they've made for me. I mean, they've been making they made the stuff for my rock website. They've been making my personal picks, whether I'm playing guitar or bass. And they made our picks for the Metal Summit, which will get debuted at Rockin' Pod.
Well, cool. I need one of those, man.
Oh, definitely. I'll make sure that you get those for sure, man. Definitely. Oh, you're one of us now, dude. You're an alumnus.
Yeah.
So, as we always say, I mean, use this interview as you see fit, man. If it can benefit you guys in any way, absolutely. And don't be shy to reach out. If you got new music, if you got something you want to push, we got you, bro.
Yeah, man.
and-
I'd love for you to push that ballad video. It feels like yesterday. That's out on YouTube now.
Yeah,
Let's get some people watching that thing.
I know that Kim and I write for Ballbuster Music, so we can definitely do something to get that out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I'll be in contact soon because we shot a video this past weekend. It'll be edited in 3 or 4 weeks. So when that comes out, I'll hit you up.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Sure.
And then
If you ever want to come back as well, I mean, always welcome.
Yeah, my pleasure. And then we'll bring the other guys in too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do a whole full thing with that. Definitely, man, for sure. So, talk a little bit about, your current plans for, Stone Whiskey. So not so much the dates that you have booked, because we booked because we've touched on that, but, what's just kind of your overall, current vision for the band, because it's got to be, you've got to be super stoked to have this kind of unique, original, rock and roll project for you to really put your energy into now. So talk a little bit about maybe the upwards of 3 years where you'd like to see the band go.
I want to take it as far as it'll go. I mean, this project is my baby at this point. Nothing else matters. As far as other gigs and things, this is what I want. I want to push this to the limit. I want to make more albums. We were talking about it the other night. I was talking to Jim, the bass player. It's yeah, we just need to write 3 killer albums and then just keep supporting those. So where are we at in 3 years? Hopefully, we're working on the 3rd album.
Good.
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. We can definitely get behind that for sure. So, fans, I do want to let you guys know that it is last call for alcohol, guys. Get those final questions and comments into the section so that our dearly beloved womanizer, in the best of way possible, Angel, will read those out for you. So it is last call for alcohol, guys. Make sure you get those comments in. But, Bobby, I'm going to kick it back down to you, buddy.
All right, so you're getting ready to go out. How can people, since you only got 5 shows on the thing, but how can people get to hear you right now? I mean, do they go to your website? Do they go to stonewhiskeyband.com?
Yeah.
Should they hit iTunes? Should they hit, where is that thing? What do you want them to smash that we can, push,
Yeah.
Get this out there?
So all of the above, right? So go to stonewhiskeyband.com, and we're on all the streaming sites. We have links from the website to all of them. Whether you listen on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever. We have, I think, 4 videos on YouTube right now, 4 official music videos. So keep watching those. And tell people about it. I mean, this is an underground rock and roll band without a label behind us.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way we're going to get bigger is if people tell their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also got T-shirts as well on your website, which are very cool T-shirts.
What an amazing segue!
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, man. You had to get everything before me. Just like last week.
We have T-shirts, we have stickers, we have CDs, we have albums. Whatever you need.
It's not my fault, Angel. I work for Brad. Remember?
Yeah, you can get your T-shirts. Jay is excluded from.
Oh no, man! I smoked it. I smoked that merch table, dude. I've got their picture on my wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you pay extra, you could have Jay as part of it.
we'll get you a shirt. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I mean, for people who want to check us out, just look us up. I mean, look us up on YouTube, look us up on whatever your streaming service is. Go to our website. We'll ship you our merchandise if you want to buy it online, or come see me at the merch table at our show. Let's do this thing.
Hell yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. What would you say so far in the short time that Stone Whiskey's been together? I mean, you guys wrote these amazing songs. You put together an album, and your tour, and you're getting yourselves out there and getting solid gigs booked for you. What's been so far the most rewarding thing about this project?
Working with Anthony Fox was probably one of the coolest things. I went from being a fan to a friend, where like he calls me up now just to bounce ideas off me for stuff, and we talk about things. So that was a really cool transition. Just somebody I looked up to now. He's producing my album, or produced it, and he's going to produce the next one as well. So I'm really happy with that relationship.
Nice. That's really, really cool for sure. And it's got to be also pretty cool, having, you've got, your ride or die guy, Chris, still right on the other side of the stage there for you. And, and with everybody, and talk a little bit about, for people that aren't familiar with, because we've talked, we've mentioned Chris now a couple of times in the interview, just, going back to things like Appetite for Destruction stuff, but talk a little bit about the band lineup in general. And, you talked about writing songs with Alan, but talk a little bit about everybody who's involved.
Yeah. So Alan and Jim, they were in Hellraiser, which was a thrash metal band in North Carolina for many years. Did very well regionally. And, we've been talking about the history of me and Chris. I mean, me and Chris have spent so many hours in a van together over the last 15 years, and so many nights in a hotel together, and, so many nights in a dive bar, so many mornings not feeling well. And Ropey, our drummer, he was the original drummer of Appetite for Destruction, when from their incarnation, through, probably the first decade of the band. So I've got quite a bit of history playing with him as well.
Nice, man. That's super duper cool. No, I definitely understand the dive bars, dude, because me and Chris have had a few Appetite post show adventures out into Fells Point in Baltimore and stuff like that. So like when we play at the power plant or Baltimore Soundstage, wherever. My goal is, like, when we're done, it's like, how quick can we pack this stuff up so we can get down to Fells Point and start hanging out? Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
100%, man, for sure. So, Angel, let's kick it up to you, buddy, for those final questions before we get to the point where we start preparing to put a bow on things.
No problem. We just up a little bit. Oh, Candy Burton wants to know: have you ever met a celebrity that had you starstruck?
I don't know. I came eye to eye with Nikki Sixx one night at the Roxy, and he was very untalkative. I wouldn't say starstruck. I mean, when I was out there, I used to go to the Steel Panther shows all the time, and then there was always a cast of celebrity characters there. They're all just people. Most of the people that you're afraid to talk to are the coolest ones, and the ones that'll talk to you the most.
Nice.
Kim Sullivan says was going to hit you and the band up for an interview. So she's going to the show Saturday.
Cool.
So she can hit you up for an interview. She does great interviews.
Yeah.
Amazing writer too.
Yeah, definitely hit us up. We'll be happy to talk, and I hope to see you at the show. Yeah, come talk to me. I'll be at the merch booth before and after our set. So come say hey.
There you go. See, Kim might hook that up for you.
Yeah.
Because you're so awesome and you rock. Jim Hampy, what's the most unexpected good thing to come out in the last 16 months?
The good thing to come out, like, from another artist? I don't know. I just listened to Buck Cherry's new album. That was pretty good. one of my favorite things to listen to right now. It's kind of weird, but I was on a cruise being a roadie for my wife, and there was a band in there called Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, which is Phil Campbell from Motorhead and his actual sons. And believe it, I'm still cranking that up. That was a few years back, but I still crank that album at least once a week when I'm driving in my car. So if you haven't checked those guys out, and they just came out with their second album too, which is just as good. So check that out.
Oh, nice.
And my question is, first album that you bought?
It was Motley Crue's "Shout at the Devil." Yeah, I mean, the first album. Yeah. I may have had other things before that, but that's the one I remember buying, like at a record store.
I miss record stores.
Yeah, and it was a cassette.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man, for sure. Well, Bobby, let's kick it down to your final segment there, my bro, before I wrap it up for us.
So you talked a lot about your wife, and she sounds like your biggest influence, not just musically, but she seems like that person who inspires you. How do you keep your relationship together, with both of you being in the industry?
I think it just works very well because we both understand what each other one does, and we have a respect for it, and we enjoy talking about it. We enjoy talking about gear, talking about what happened at the show, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we make the most of our time too.
Well, I got to ask you this really off the cuff a little bit. Is there a little bit of, do you ever go, is she ever jealous when you're on the road of going, hey, that girl's looking at you? Or you going, whoa, dude, it's mine?
No, there's none of that. There's no jealousy. There's no competition. We're both just, playing our guitars.
Well, but you know what it's like. There are goofy fans everywhere. Everybody wants to either think, fans don't know who you are, that if you're married, unless, but I was just wondering if it's a very difficult thing for you to do this.
I think the thing that we always say is we wish there was a million more just like them. So whenever we have some kind of crazy fan, like, you know what, I wish there was a million more just like them. You're buying a T-shirt, or buying an album, or coming to our show. So don't look at it as like a bad thing. Look at it like a good thing. That there's a fan.
That's cool.
Crazy or not.
It's definitely true. I've had that conversation with other friends of mine who are in the business too, where you just kind of talk about when you have people that come that join a band that's already somewhat established, because you always kind of let those people know. It's like, hey, you've got the fans that dig your music, and you've got the fans that really get behind you, but then you've also got like the super fans who are a little crazy, but they buy everything you put out no matter what it is. It's always good to have it's always good to have the super fans.
So one last question. Should a fan wear the band shirt to a gig?
Man, I don't have a problem with that. Sure, why not?
I know bands that get kind of like, oh, really, dude? And we won't mention the name. Kiss. But
hey, you're showing support. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but that's my whole thing. If you're a loyal fan, look. Tell me you wouldn't be cool if somebody walked up with a, Stone Whiskey tattoo on, and you went,
yeah.
Just don't fucking break up the next week.
I know. Yeah. So here's a challenge. Somebody come up to me Saturday night and show me your Stone Whiskey tattoo.
Just leave with a trunk full of merch. That'd be awesome. Yeah, show that support, guys.
That's a challenge.
That's a real challenge right there.
Hey, that's how we do the thing for the Mark Weiss book. The first one to get the tattoo in the weirdest spot with one of our faces.
Yeah.
I just want to see a fan who gets Angel's portrait on like her inner thigh.
Yes.
That's what I would like to see.
Angel rub ink all over his face.
I would do more than that.
What, just press it on?
I would offer a foot massage.
No, for sure. But I will say, fans, like we talked about earlier in the show, at the beginning of the show, that'll probably catch our attention if one of you guys is brave enough to put the Metal Summit on you. And we'll do some kind of partnership with Stone Whiskey tattoos, Metal Summit tattoos. We'll find some way to like hook it up.
Do it.
So, no, something like that would be like super duper cool. But Bill, we got to thank you so much for spending your evening with us, man. You know,
Yeah,
we
thanks
really
for
had a
having
good time. And our big thing is always how you felt about it. Like, did you have a good time? Did you like your questions? Did you enjoy just kind of, cracking some jokes here and there? And did you feel that it was worth your time to do this?
Oh, absolutely, man. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, and thanks for supporting our music, man.
We're all
I've known you for a while, man, and you're a cool dude. So it was fun to catch up.
For sure, man. 100%, man. I can't wait to see you soon, man. I'll see you back out on the road, man. But have a great time with your gigs, man. Good luck with those. And have a great time at Guns N' Roses, man. You know you're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. All right.
Absolutely.
Great talking to you.
Well, take care, man. We'll be in touch. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great one, brother.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Later on,
Good night.
bro.
Absolutely. Thank you
Bye.
so much, man.
Yeah.
Well, Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. You know how much we love you guys. We don't have a show without you guys, So again, a big shout out to Bill Spears from Stone Whiskey. Thank you so much, man, for always being for spending your evening with us for sure. Great job goes out to Angel Alamo, who held it down.
Yeah.
Producer as well. Our
Doing double
homeboy
duty.
Jamar is here with us. Boom!
Yeah.
So he is definitely here with us as always, and he always kills it with us as well. We've got some funky new designs that we're gonna put out to you guys in a little bit. One of those made by our dearest Jamar and stuff like that. But we got a lot of cool stuff coming out for you guys. So Angel, fantastic job as well. Jamar, you know how much we
thank
love you. Here, we'll kick it to you, Jamar, real quick for just a little bit of fun. Milwaukee Bucks, man, for real.
Yeah, man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, man. It was a crazy year. If you watch sports, if you watch ball at all, it was a crazy year. And a lot of times it's sometimes hard to, because I do this rock show with you guys, and I get to switch gears for a little bit of time. But my life is basically in the sports world. I literally just got off of an Eagles show. Believe it or not.
Really?
An Eagles show, and just doing preseason stuff. So if there's any football fans or sports fans, I'm
Season
always,
ticket holder.
yeah. If you're a season ticket holder, if you just want to talk about sports, I found out today Angel is also into sports. So, and I know you're down with the Boston teams. So listen, man, I know we all love music, we all love metal, we all love all that. But it's always
We
good to
could
be
take the Metal Summit live to the parking lot at an Eagles game.
There you go.
exactly.
We could definitely do some stuff for that, man. But yeah, guys, definitely go out there and show our boy Jamar some love with his other projects and stuff like that, man. He got involved with us. He's been down for the cause, and he's been super duper supportive. And we show love to all the members of our brotherhood. So, hit up Jamar's pages for everything that he's doing as well. But we definitely wanted to pull him in a little bit, because he and I have talked off the air a little bit about the NBA season and what may or may not have been going down between the Suns and the Bucks. But it was definitely a crazy one for sure. But Jamar, thank you so much as always, brother. We definitely always want to make sure that we give you some love. And Angel, fantastic job, man.
Yeah, great job, man.
Rocked out as well. And of course, thank you so much to Bobby Dreyer for rocking out with us, and of course to Psycho Steve, who had to jump off a little bit early to get ready for work and everything. But we, thank you guys so much for always tuning in with us every week. We will get our announcement out on Friday for next week's episode, so it's going to be another great one. But Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. Support live music. Make sure you're hitting all of our socials. Make sure you smash on our YouTube page, hit the little notification bell, our Facebook page, our Twitter page. Definitely hit up our Instagrams as well for sure. If you guys haven't noticed, we are all over the place now when we go live: Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you guys have a preferred outlet that you like to watch the show on, watch it there. We get your comments. They pop up, so we make sure that Angel is on top of that and everybody gets all of that love and stuff like that. So Metal Summoners, again, thank you guys all so much for watching as well. Again, announcement on Friday, new show, same time next week on Wednesday night for Jamar, for Angel, for Bobby, for Psycho Steve, for Jay. Thank you guys as always for tuning in, because you know where you've been and you know where you're going to be next week. As always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.